Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to run my kind of weird setup again, where I've got my microphone down here running audio, and then using the camera for video. I'm still kind of testing things out and seeing what works best with it, and also kind of testing my comfortable sitting, but it's whatever works. But yeah, just kind of thought I would do a quick kind of update with things, and I can move this. I don't know why I didn't fix it before I started this, but yeah, just kind of quick update on how things are going. For the most part, most stuff's more or less the same. A lot of time at home. It's been very cold here, so even just like getting out and doing stuff, it's been kind of a lot. I put in, I don't know if it's probably right behind me. I put a small heater in my room here just to kind of like keep myself sane during the day. I have a lot of some issues with circulation, so my hands, my feet get really cold, like very, very easily, even if it's like 50 or 60 Fahrenheit. So I've got the heater. Right now I turned it off just so it wouldn't make sound on the video, but it's been trying to manage things, especially when it's been so cold out. And I don't know, I don't love the winter here, but it's not anything different than what I grew up with and what I'm used to at this point, so it's not anything too strange. So recently I've been kind of thinking about a lot of health stuff just in general, like especially related to winter and with things with the cold. I've been thinking that maybe I'm a little kind of underweight for right now. I think I weighed myself a few days, I think last week. I was right around like 170 with heavy clothes and having just eaten. So probably more accurate is anywhere 165 to 168, and that's definitely on the low side for me. And considering like my height and everything, I probably should be at least 170, 175 normally. But there are some times where I let it get a little lower just because, like, visually, especially like with personal training and things, you can tell the difference, like even with like muscle definition sometimes. So it's nice in some ways and really not nice in other ways. But it's one of those things where it's finding a good balance of it, especially like because I've been vegan for so long that there are some times where if I need to put weight on, it's kind of difficult, which is, I know, frustrating for many people to hear, just because for a lot of people the opposite is the issue. It's hard to lose weight once you've got it. So it's all just a balance of things, and I don't know. We'll see what happens as we go, but I'm planning on going to see a doctor this coming week. I've got a few things I need to bring up, weight being one of them, and just seeing like if they think that's related to circulation issues, but then also like somewhat recently I've noticed like changes in like sexual performance and having an issue with that. So being circulation related is certainly a possibility, but also maybe looking at mental health stuff, because over the last few years I've been maybe a little too hands off with things. Certainly resistant with like the whole process of having to do a lot of trial and error with different like medications and things, but also having gone back and forth with different insurances and trying to deal with that as well. It's not always a smooth and predictable thing to be able to go with a medication, especially like since I was traveling too. I think it was one of those things that just got kind of put on the back burner, and I figured it's probably got more to do with like where I am, what else is going on, and then also like work stuff. Just because for any of it, you have to have some kind of consistency in order to keep things consistent mentally too. So that's one thing I definitely need to start working on a little bit more, and at least like hearing things out if nothing else, because recently too, I've been dealing with some pain from IBS, and that in a lot of cases has to do directly with mental health. So I think it's probably just a sign that I've been putting things off for too long and need to find a better kind of maintenance strategy with it. I'm sure there is some part of that has to do with the traveling as well, just because spending 6 months in another country is a lot of time, and so there's a lot of things that can change, and especially like comparing foods in other places to foods in the US, everything is very different, and even just like produce and eating more like fresh stuff and having it available, it's very jarring for the system. And so I think it's probably a combination of everything, but I have been a little resistant to call it a mental health related condition, just because and there's probably part of this that's just because maybe I've had a little bit of resilience build up with like stress and anxiety. So maybe at this point I'm not really feeling it when I'm at those times with elevated stress, and maybe I'm not noticing it as much, just having spent time with anxiety and depression and everything. So I mean, I have to think about all of it, and what I plan on doing with it all and about all of it, but also just thinking about like personally, there's a lot that's still unresolved. Living here at home it's nice for now, but it's not the most sustainable situation. There are a lot of things that I do that make me uncomfortable trying to do them here at home. Even this, like just talking to the microphone and the camera is a little bit more uncomfortable, just because I have that anxiety of like who is listening, who can like overhear what I'm saying, and that part of it is very frustrating sometimes. So it's all finding a balance, but also it has to do a lot with work. I've been working on doing job applications and trying to find like what specific area I want to end up in. I have been working half and half, like medical and fitness, and I think at this point I've had a few more interviews, and I just had like very frustrating or confusing experiences with fitness. And so I like working in fitness, but I don't know that it's going to be something sustainable for me. I'm really not someone who likes to do a lot of marketing, a lot of sales, or a lot of like self-promotion, and that ends up being a big part of it one way or the other, whether it's directly related to the job or if it's like trying to do something on the side. And it's really like I find it very difficult for myself to be able to put time and effort into that. So I think as a necessity in health and fitness, it's difficult. It makes it a little bit more confusing to try and look at those jobs knowing that there's going to be that part of it that will in many ways determine how successful and how much income you're able to make, even though the environment I feel is a little better for me, as opposed to working in the lab that can be a little bit more isolating. So it's all about just finding a spot that I can deal with for now until I know really my longer term plan. And part of a catalyst for that has been that recently I've gone on a few dates with someone I really like, but that can also be a little complicated. This person that I've seen a few times is in an open relationship, and that's something that I'm kind of trying to navigate here, and trying to learn about and support and explore and see what I can do. But it's something different, and it's, I think, worth having that experience and seeing, is it something that long term is going to be good for both of us, and if it's going to be something that in the end I end up preferring, or if it's something that's maybe a little too different or unsustainable one way or the other. So I think each day is just kind of taking things as they come and seeing what the future holds. But yeah, I'm right around the 12-minute mark, so I think that's probably good for this week. That's like the big updates. Hopefully there will be a little bit more whenever I do the next one, but for now I think that's probably more than enough. I don't know how often I'm going to do these, just because it's sometimes a lot of effort to try and come up with enough to say in the video, but also just to try and put it together. When I try and upload these, sometimes it takes like a full day. And so we'll see with this one, see how this one goes, and then I'll reevaluate for whenever I do a next video. But till then, take care everybody. See you next time.